Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Melanie from Yoga Within, and we are going to do our beginner Ashtanga class today. Remember, as always, if you have any medical issues or injuries, always best and safest to check with your doctor before you jump in and start a practice. And if you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to hit that little red subscribe button and join our YouTube channel where you can enjoy many classes with many of our instructors. You may find, although Ashtanga is not traditionally taught with props, I would encourage you to use props, especially in the beginner class. So a strap, a block, and a foamy block if you have them. If not, don't worry about it. We'll start in a seated position. So find that most comfortable seated position. Let your eyes close for a moment. Take a long, deep breath in through the nose and a long, loud, let it go exhalation through the mouth. Now let your lips close lightly and begin to find the Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath is in through the nose, out through the nose with the mouth just lightly closed. Try to keep your jaw relaxed. Visualize your spine from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head and move yourself into what you envision to be your nice straight spine. Just let your mind follow the gentle rhythm, the gentle sound of the breath, allowing this practice to become the meditative practice that it is, giving the mind that place of focus. Take a couple more long deep breaths in and long deep breaths out, remembering the importance of the breath in this practice. The Ujjayi breath heats you safely from the inside out, and you are in complete control. There's no need to force your breath. Keep your breath, just let your chin drop down, let your eyes open, let your chin move gently across the collarbones, just bringing some awareness into how does your neck feel today. Keeping your breath, lift your head up, stretch your legs out, bounce into your knees, shake it out a bit, and see if you can come up to standing without using your hands. So setting yourself up at the front of your mat in a Samastiti. Samastiti is a tension pose, but same as mountain pose in a hatha class. Keep in mind that all the standing postures, the foundations are the feet. So think about moving upwards. And just bring your hands to heart center and take a moment again to connect with the Ujjayi breath, that gentle in through the nose, out through the nose. Remembering the importance of the breath in the practice. There's a gentle sound. Let the mind follow the waves of the breath. Your drishti is your point of gaze. Straight ahead down the tip of the nose. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. If the shoulders hurt, put the hands on the hips. As you exhale, fold the body forward. You may find you need to move the feet farther apart and bend the knees. Now come up to the partial fold. Your hands, if they don't go to the floor, place them on your shins or your thighs. Exhale, bend forward. So bend the knees, put the hands on the floor beside the feet, step back to plank. Place the knees on the floor, elbows in, lower down. Tops of the feet to the floor. You can do a baby cobra or upward dog. So they're back bent. You can keep the thighs down or pressing to the tops of the feet, lifting the thighs. Knees down, toes tucked, hips move back and up, downward dog. At any point you find downward dog is too strenuous, stay in child's pose. Walk downward dog out. Keep in mind it is an inversion, so if you're feeling dizzy or nauseous at all, you might be better off in child's pose, supporting your head on your fists. Hips move up and back, so if back and hamstrings are causing you problems, move the feet farther apart and bend the knees. On your next inhalation, move the gaze towards the hands and bring the feet forward between the hands. You end up in this partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, come up. If it hurts the back, to come up with the ears between the arms, walk the hands up the legs. Exhale as you lower the arms. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, fold the body forward. Inhale to that long flat back. Exhale, step back through plank. Knees come down. Elbows are in, lower through. Keep strength in the neck. Don't hang the neck. Inhale to upward dog, so really open your chest. Tuck the toes, send the hips back and up to downward dog. Really exploring how you're feeling this morning. It is a strong practice. It is meant to be a healing practice. The potential for moving fast and furious and practicing from our egos is very great in a flow type class. So be mindful, it's meant to heal you. Think Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha if you're aware of the bandhas. Neck is long, eyes are open, drishti or gaze towards the wall behind you or towards your navel. Inhale, bring your gaze and your feet to your hands. You just get there how you can in that half fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, coming up, shoulders lightly moving down the back. Exhale, Samastiti. Last time, inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, part way up, a long back. Exhale, step back, put the knees down if you need. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Use the strength of the legs, use the glutes, don't overuse them. Exhale, downward dog. Walk it out. Remember, you're given the gift of the 5 breaths, more or less, in each posture, just to kind of figure out, where do you need to be? Where do I find the most ease in my body, where I can begin to work into my greatest strength? Just don't confuse ease and easy. Do the work. Make sure the weight is even on everything connected to the ground. This is your foundation. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands. Get there how you can to that partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Samastiti. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, step back. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Now, I call the breath to remind you to breathe. If you don't happen to be taking the breath I'm saying, that's okay. Just make sure that you are breathing and not holding your breath. Your breath tells you a story, and your job is to really listen to the story. When our breath is a little shallow and restricted, it's often a sign our mind's drifted or perhaps our body's in pain. But when the breath is even and relatively calm, it's a good sign that we're present in the here and now. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands. Exhale, fold the body. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Samastiti. Surya Namaskara B, knees bend, hips back, arms up. So if there's pain in the back and hamstrings, move your feet farther apart. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, step back. Knees down, neck in line with spine, lower through. Inhale, upward dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Now the left foot turns slightly left, the right foot comes forward between the hands. You come up either hands to hips or arms all the way up. This is not a twist, so you want your hips pointing forward. Exhale as you come down, back knee can come down, front knee can come down, lower through. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Same thing, other side. So right foot turns, left foot comes forward. Try to keep the weight even on both feet. Draw the shoulders down. Exhale brings you down. Back knee down. Front knee down. Chaturanga. Try not to hang the head. Upward dog. Downward dog. Long full breaths. Remember your option to come to child's pose. Stack the fists. Hopefully by now you're getting a sense of how you're feeling today. Practice with that in mind. Remember, the idea is to build your strength and your flexibility, not just building into flexibility. Heal the body. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands. In that partial fold, exhale, fully fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samastiti. 2 more times. Leave them out if you need to. Have a sip of coffee. Knees bend, inhale. I know what you're up to. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back. Knees don't have to go down if you don't want. Lower through. Upward dog. Downward dog. Left foot pivots, right comes forward. You can help the leg forward. Hips point straight ahead, not a twist. Exhale, come down. You don't have to lower that back knee if you don't want to. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot pivots, left forward. Inhale, coming up. Try to keep the weight even on both feet. Press pinky toe, side of back foot. Exhale, watch those heads. I see you hanging them. Come on down through. Inhale, upward dog. Open that chest. Exhale, downward dog. Long, full breaths. If you're holding on into something that's causing you pain, you should always ask yourself why you're doing that. I am one person giving probably quite a few of you cues. Your job is to listen to you and not me. What is it you need today? Inhale, gaze and feet, back to hands in that partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samastiti. Last time. Knees bend, arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Adjust your feet if you need to. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back. Watch those heads hanging. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Root all 10 of your toes. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot pivots, right foot comes forward. Center those hips, front knee above heel. Lift the arches of your feet. Exhale, coming down the way that's best for you. Upward dog, downward dog, right foot pivots, left comes forward. Center those hips, lift the chest. Exhaling, watch those heads hanging. Back down through chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog, long full breaths. Keep this in mind, how you're feeling as you move through the rest of the practice. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Do what truly benefits you. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands in that partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Knees bend. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samastiti. Good job. Haringasthasana. Feet are about hip width apart. Bend from the hip creases, send the hips back. So adjust your feet if you need. Your pointer and middle finger under your big toes. Thumb touches those fingertips. Bend the elbows. If this is enough, don't go any farther. Otherwise, drop the head. Try to maintain that rib-thigh connection as much as you can. So you're lengthening the entire backside of your body. Your head hangs, the arches of your feet work, and you root big toe mound, little toe mound in the center of the heel. Follow the rhythm of the breath. Let the upper back open. Padahastasana, bend the knees, straighten the arms, lift the feet, slide the palms under the foot soles so the fingers point to the heels. Lower the glutes, bend the elbows. Now hang your head if you're not dizzy and begin to straighten your legs. Keep in mind that what is straight for you and what is straight for the rest of us is not the same. A straight leg for you could be a leg with a big bend in the knee. Use your breathing. The elbows bend to help you open the upper back. Let your head hang. Maybe you even turn it a bit. Remember, there's thousands of nerve endings in the palms and the soles of the feet, so press into them. Bend the knees, straighten the arms, lift the head. Place the hands on the hips. Come all the way back to standing. Exhale, back to Samastiti. This is your reset, your check-in, back to neutral. Utthita Trikonasana, step out wide to the right. Right foot turns out, left foot can stay 90 or turn in. Hips are relatively straight. Hands to hips or arms parallel to floor, depending on your shoulders. Right arm down, left arm up. This is where potentially you might need a block on the inside of the foot or the outside. Try to keep your neck in line with your spine as opposed to dropping the head. Build that strength. Connect top and bottom half right here at the core. So if you find your bottom sticking out, often there's a lot of pressure in the low back. Soften that front knee slightly. Your gaze can be up, straight ahead, or down to the big toe. Where do you have the most strength? Keep your breath. Now, if you're using the block, pick it up, breathe in, breathe out, turn your feet, keep breathing, same thing, other side. So the beauty of the blocks is that you can turn it and get the height that you need. Some of you may prefer it at the outside of your foot. Lift your 10 toes, lift the arches of the feet. Think shoulder stacked above shoulder. Strengthen the neck, not hanging the head. Where do you need your gaze to be? Unlock that left knee. If you're using the block, you may want to pick it up. Come all the way back up to standing. Now, Parvrita is the rotation. So you turn your feet again, right foot points straight ahead, left foot points forward at a slight angle, and the hips point straight ahead. The block goes to the inside of the right foot or the outside if you need it. Left hand to the outside of the right foot. Right hand can rest in the sacrum. It can rest straight out to the side, or if you can rotate torso around the spine, fingertips can point up. In a perfect world, the weight is even on both feet. Gaze down, to the side, or up to the top hand. Inhale, bring yourself back up to standing. Turn your feet. Remember, your feet are your foundation. Your hips point straight ahead, back foot's at a slight angle. As you start going forward, you're drawing that left hip back, right thigh forward, and you're rotating torso around spine. So it's right hand to the outside of the left leg. Some of you may get it to the floor, and if you don't have one of these blocks, you can use a Kleenex box. The idea is that all the weight of the world is not resting on that block. Keep it light. Lift the arches of your feet. Decide where your arm should be, where your gaze should be, and understand why you have it where you have it. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, reset at Samasthiti. Utthita Parsvaskanasana, step out a little bit wider. Right foot out, left foot 90 or turns in. Right knee bends, knee above heel. Think, are the hips at a straight line? And they may or may not be, but notice. Press right arm into right leg. Keep left hand on hip. Stay here. You can rest right elbow on the knee. If your shoulder doesn't hurt, elbow by ear. Head's not hanging. Build that strength. If you really want to check in with your strength, try to lift that elbow off the knee. You can press the arm into the leg if you like. There's a straight line of energy from that left heel all the way up through the left fingertips. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Back leg strong but not locked. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out, turn your feet. Bend that left knee. Come over, keep the hand on the hip or in the low back if that's better. If there's pain in the low back, you're probably not connected top and bottom half at the core. Know why you do what you're doing. Keep the breath strong, unclench teeth and toes. Follow the rhythm of the breath. Remember, find your greatest strength. Find ease in your body. Inhale, bring yourself up. Now we're moving into the rotation, Parvrita. So you change to the right foot, pick your feet up, adjust. Right foot's pointing forward. The back foot is at a slight angle pointing forward, and you bend that right knee. Now as you start dropping down, the hip tends to go forward. Draw that right hip back. Rotate torso around spine. You can stay here like this with left hand on outside of right knee. Or some of you may go farther down, bringing the shoulder or the armpit to the outside of the knee. The palms meet in prayer. There are some days where you need to lift that back heel. Give yourself permission. Some of you may prefer the knee on the ground. Palms are together in prayer to open the upper back. Gaze up, sideways, or down to that right big toe. Use your breathing. Your next inhalation brings you back up to standing, and you turn your feet. Left foot points forward, right foot at a slight angle, bringing your hips so they point forward. You bend that knee, and you may find you need to move that left foot farther forward. Draw the left hip back and rotate your torso around your spine. You can stay right here, or you can drop down, draw that hip back, bring the elbow or the armpit to the outside of the knee, palms meet in prayer. You may need the back heel up, or you might need the back knee down. The idea is not to be swinging the hips forward. You keep stability in the center part of the structure. You keep the neck in line with the spine, and you find strength in the body. You inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale, step back to the front of the mat, Samastiti. Prasarita Padottanasana A, step out wide. Outside edges of your feet are parallel. Knees bend, you bend at the hip creases. Elbows rest on thighs. So this might be as far as you go. Some of you may need the blocks for your hands. Some of you may get the palms to the floor. The elbows start bending to right angles. You drop the head down, and if you're able to begin to straighten your legs, that's what you do. You begin to straighten your legs. Understand what you're doing with your arms. You're drawing the shoulders away from the ears, picking the 10 toes up. Use your breath. Now straighten your arms, send the hips up and back, place the hands on the hips. Make sure your knees aren't locked. An inhalation brings you back up to standing, and you release the arms to the sides. Arms come up shoulder height, hands back to hips. Pinky fingers in the hip creases, bend the knees, send the hips back. Stay here halfway, or drop the head and start to lift the hips. Now, as I do that, it shows me that I needed to move my legs a bit farther apart. Don't lock the backs of the knees. Keep a slight micro bend. Open the shoulders. Eyes are open. Some of you may have the head on the floor, in which case you need to start moving your feet closer together. Some of you may be getting dizzy, so you ask yourself, why am I dropping my head down? Now, as you come up, use the strength of your legs, not your neck and shoulders. Don't let the head be the first thing to come up. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the back and lift the arms. This is chest expander. Now, if you find that this is causing you pain and you're all hunched over, I would highly recommend using a strap, lifting the arms and moving your shoulder blades together like you're squeezing a lemon. Now bend the knees, torso parallel to the floor. If this is as far as you can go, perfect. If you can drop the head, begin to straighten the legs and move the arms over, that is perfect too. What is causing you to work the hardest and begin to create change without causing extreme pain is great. Yoga is about transformation, and sometimes there's a bit of discomfort with transformation. But there's a difference between pain and discomfort. As you come up, you might want to bend the knees, take the torso parallel to the floor, and then come all the way up. Release the arms down, let the strap go. Place the hands on the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, send the hips back, neck in line with the spine. Take the pointer and middle finger under the big toes, touch the thumbs to them, and bend the elbows. Readjust your foundation, which is your feet. Drop your head, lift the hips. Use your breathing. Send those hips up and back. Think Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Eyes are open. Weights even, big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel. Good. Bend the knees, straighten the arms, lift the gaze. Place the hands on the hips. Come all the way up to standing and step back to the front of the mat. Samastiti, check in. Take the hands behind the back. Touch the palms together into prayer hands. And if that is not an option for you, hold your elbows or your wrists or touch your knuckles. Now take your right foot, turn it all the way around and bring your left foot at a slight angle. Hips are pointing straight ahead. Put a micro bend in that right knee and go halfway forward. Front hip back, so right hip back, left thigh forward like you have a foam block between your inner upper thighs. If that's enough, stay there. Otherwise, send those hips up and back as though you were moving through a downward dog and go as far forward as feels good for you. If you find that the hands are causing you problems, you can always use the block and just rest the hands on the block, remembering that you can adjust the height. Front hip back, back thigh forward. You want to feel the work in the legs. From the feet up, remember your feet are your foundation. Your next inhalation brings you back up to standing. And the beauty of Ashtanga is we do one side and we do the other side. And we start to notice the differences from one side of our body to the other. Body folds halfway or all the way forward. If the weight's going into the front foot, you need to bend the knees, send the hips up and back. It's left hip back, right thigh forward. If you need to adjust your foundation, adjust it. Fingertips slide up to where the neck and the hairline meet. And those of you thrusting your chins, drop your head, let them hang. Feel the foundation being strong. Let the mind be present within the breath. This whole practice becomes a moving, breathing meditation. Inhale, bring yourself back up to standing. Exhale, step back to the front of your mat into Samastiti. Check in with your breath. That was your preparation for balance. Now you're moving into balance. So if you need to use the walls or if you need straps, by all means, use them. Weight goes to the left foot, lift your right, and it might even be right here with the heel just off the floor. Some of you will lift the foot off the floor, bring the arm under and hook, drop the hip. Some of you will begin to hold the ankle to straighten the leg. Some of you will get the foot, but truly understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and the changes that you're creating in your body to heal it, as opposed to practicing with ego, thinking, oh great, I have my head on my leg, but nothing else is healing. Now inhale, bring yourself up. Hip is a ball and socket, so allow the hip to move out to the side. Hips are relatively even. You're not slugging, slouching. You're lifting up. Body is strong. There's a connection top and bottom half of the body. Left hand on left hip. Some of you may have it out on the wall or on a chair. Some of you may hold the back of the thigh. Some of you may have the leg up, but the hip stays down. Bring it back to the center of the leg. Now bow forward as you exhale. Notice your hips, notice your neck. Bring yourself back up to standing. Now extend that right leg, drop the hip and point the toes. Good, you can keep the hand here, you can keep the hands on the hips. Your mind will probably say, oh, that's enough, or your quad will tell you that. Retract, move the hip in the socket, and extend the leg out. Keep in mind, the leg up and leaning back and floundering, that's your back. Do the core strength. You are much better to have the leg lower. Now flex the foot, release it, and walk it out. Again, balance is very different from side to side, breath to breath, moment to moment. So you shift down on the right. Try to draw that right hip up above the right ankle. You can hold the back of the thigh, hold what you can hold. Use your hands to feel what your body's doing. Are my hips even? Is my neck in line with my spine? Am I using my feet? And if the answer is no to any of those, what do you need to do to change it? Are you lifting up out of the arch of your right foot? Now bring yourself back to center. Move that hip in the socket, take it out. Are you leaning? Are you strong? Your head can turn the other way, but it doesn't have to. Keep your breath. Remember, you are turning your neck, but you want it to have freedom, not feel like snake bite. Bring it back to the center. Lean forward. Are the hips even? Is this beneficial? If not, why are you doing it? Inhale, come up. Exhale, extend the leg, point the toes, drop that hip. Be connected top and bottom half. Don't let the mind get in the way. Be present in the moment. The risk of injury is much less when your mind is present. Flex and release. Walk it out. Take yourself back to the front of the mat. Reset at Samasthiti. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold the body forward, all the way, part way if that's better. Inhale to that partial lift. Exhale, step back. Lower through chaturanga or put the knees down to lower through. Know why you're doing it the way you're doing it. Inhale, lift to upward dog. Exhale, roll back downward dog and walk it out. Keep your breathing. Inhale, bring your gaze and your feet back to your hands. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Put the palms on the thighs and come partway up to chair pose. Now, you may find that there's pain in the back or the hamstrings or the ankles, so your feet need to be wider apart. You may be able to have the arms out at shoulder height, or you may be able to lift them. Turn the pinky fingers slightly towards each other and up. Draw the shoulders down. You may want to take one hand to the neck and make sure the neck is long and strong, as opposed to flopping back. Know why you're doing what you're doing. You have the gift of these 5 breaths to create change in the body, but also change in your mind. Reset your habits physically and mentally. An exhalation takes you forward. Remember, if you're dizzy, just go halfway. Step back. Lower through chaturanga. The idea is to build strength, not strain. Inhale, upward dog. Where's the weight in your foundation, which includes your hands? Exhale, downward dog. Moving to Virabhadrasana A, which you've done already. Left foot pivots. Right foot comes forward. Come up, place your hands on your hips. And if you find that your hips are really at an angle, think, what is this posture meant to be teaching me? Reset your foundation. Point the hips straight ahead, as straight as you can get them. If there's pain, perhaps maybe in the knees, for example, shorten your stance. Your warrior today might look like this. The only prize for going too deep in something is an injury if your body's not ready. You can have the arms shoulder height, you can have the arms up, but if you do, know why they're up. The eyes roll up. Move the eyes in the sockets. That's part of the drishti. Find that strength. Each breath creates a subtle movement in the body, a subtle movement in the mind. Straighten the legs, turn the feet. You can always bring the hands to the hips. Reset the foundation, the feet. Center the hips as best you can. Connect top and bottom half at the core, so not a back bend this time. Strong through the core. Lift the 10 toes and press them lightly down. A long neck. Roll the eyeballs in the socket. Strengthen your eyes. What is this posture here to teach you physically and mentally? Remember, there's no goals, no expectations unless you put them on yourself. Now open into B. The arms come parallel to the floor after you reset the feet. Hips are relatively straight, bottom's not sticking out. The head turns to the hand over the bent knee, as long as it's not causing you neck strain. And if it is, look straight ahead. If the shoulders hurt, put your hands on your hips. And hands on the hips brings you that awareness to where you are in space. Now straighten that front leg and turn the feet. This back leg can be at 90 or it can turn in slightly. The right foot turns out. The gaze is to the right hand, as long as there's no strain in the neck. If you pause for a moment and bring the hands to the hips, and just make sure you're connected here at the core, that you do feel strong and stable there. Keep your breathing. Keep your breathing. Now back arm lifts. You pivot over the right leg. You can always put that left knee down in the transition if you like. Right leg goes back. You lower through chaturanga. Lift to upward dog. Tuck the toes, hips up and back to downward dog. Now you're coming into the seated portion of the practice. Bring yourself down to your mat. Cross your ankles, sit back or sit down however you like. You may find that you need to sit on a rolled up towel or blanket or this green foamy block simply to lift the hips and tilt the pelvis forward as opposed to leaning back. The idea is to create change, so do not think that the props make things easier. In fact, they can really challenge us as we move into proper alignment for ourselves. Sternum, center of chest lifts, chin drops. So you lengthen the spine now, which includes your neck. Your drishti is down the tip of the nose and you're breathing. Now the foundation is no longer the feet, so often we forget to use the feet. If the heels are lifting, press them down and draw the heels towards the hips towards the heels. Keep breathing. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the head. Paschimottanasana, if you can reach your toes, pointer, middle finger around the big toes, thumbs touch. Elbows bend, body folds. Now that doesn't happen for everybody. So you may find knees bend, hips need to move back, armpits and knees, neck in line with the spine. Breathing. Some of you may find that you need to use the straps. Know why you're doing what you're doing. These postures are here to teach us something. Our job is to learn the lessons. And it changes from practice to practice. Now inhale, lengthen the spine. If you are holding the toes, hold the outsides of the feet. Press the thumbs below the big toes. Bend the elbows, fold the body. Keep your breath. Walk the bottom out a step or two. Draw your shoulders down. Good. Now inhale, come up. The coming up should be as much work as the going down. You get the second part of the twist. Release. Cross the ankles. Try not to lean back. Lean and lift. Build some of that core strength. If you are doing a vinyasa, if it's in your practice, the vinyasa is to come forward through a plank or knee down plank to upward dog. Tuck the toes. Send the hips up and back to downward dog. Coming back down to a seated position. As you move into Parsvattanasana, either the inclined plane or the variation, hands back, so I'm leaning back so I can lightly squeeze my shoulder blades. Bend the knees so that the heels are below the knees. You're not feeling pain in the knees or the hamstrings. And lift the hips. The neck is in line with the spine, so you're not compressing the neck and dropping it back. Build the strength. The whole idea is to strengthen the body, strengthen the mind. Let go of your attachments you have to what you think it should be. Now lower down, so bend the elbows, try to draw the bottom back. If you're sparking, cross the legs the opposite way, draw in and lift. Good, lower the bottom down. Jana Shashasana, a left leg straight, right knee bends. Hips are pointing straight ahead. You can reach the leg, reach the foot, use a strap, body slides forward to what is forward for you. Remember, if the hamstrings are tight, you might need this bend in the knee to really lengthen the back side of the body. The heel draws towards the hip draws back of the left leg. The elbows bend to open the upper back, and you're breathing. Breathing. The right foot presses into the left upper thigh, or you roll the top of the right foot to the floor. An inhale brings you back up. Remember, it should be lots of work. Exhale, release. The left leg is straight, so draw it in and spark. Build that core strength. And open. Not only core strength, but wrist strength. A lot of us are weak in the upper bodies. So the right hip draws back, right big toe mound forward, body folds. If the hands are on the floor, know how you're using your hands, your arms. Your grip on your foot or the floor has a relationship to your shoulders. I know some of you are cranking your necks. Keep your neck in line with the spine and roll your eyeballs towards the big toe. Breathe here, breathe. Good, inhale, come up. Exhale, spark. Keep your breath, vinyasa if it's in your practice. Left leg is straight. Pick up your right leg, use your right hand, pull the toes back, bring the arm in front of the leg and lean forward. It could actually be also bend that left knee and be here. Where do you need the stretch? Full pose is to tuck the toes under, roll forward and into the full movement. We're working into feet and hips here, working into the forward fold, opening the upper back. Remember, do what's best for you, not what I'm saying. And if you're feeling the pain in the knee, it's your body's way of saying, if you don't stop this, you will get an injury. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release, spark. You can always vinyasa, it's your practice. And then other side. So left hand draws the toe back. Remember, for some of us, this is really painful. We need to spend more time working our feet. Our feet are the first thing that age, and they support us our whole life, provide us our balance, and use your feet. Good, so right hip back, right big toe mound forward, body folds. If you are in the full posture, the heel goes into that area just below the navel, massaging into all the internal organs. Do the work across the upper back. Keep the neck strong. Use the power of the breath. Coming all the way up and releasing, spark. If you are doing a vinyasa, by all means. Moving into Marichyasana A, left leg is straight, right knee bends. You may bring the right shoulder to the inside of the knee and just meet the hands here in prayer, noticing, are my shoulders relatively even? Are my hips relatively even? Is the weight even on everything on the ground? If you need a little more, you bring the arms around the legs. If you can join the hands, join them. But if not, use a strap. Keep in mind, this is not a twist. This is a forward fold. So you may need this right foot out more and even at an angle. The idea is to get as low as you can go. For some of you, bending that left knee might be what you need. And those of you thrusting those chins forward, drop your necks in line with the rest of your spine. Press through that left big toe mound, press through the right big toe mound. Think about your mat being your own personal mirror. And are your shoulders relatively even? What about your hips? As you inhale, don't let go of your bind or your strap. Come up, you get a whole second part to the twist. And release. Right knee drops, left is in front. So you alternate how you cross the legs. Now the right leg is straight, the left knee bends. Left shoulder comes to the inside. The hands could meet in prayer. Adjust that left foot. The weight might not be completely even on the glutes, but the idea is to get things as even as you can get them. Again, you can bring the arms around and bind. If you are binding, it's not a twist yet. So you're thinking, adjust the left foot so you can draw the left shoulder back, the right shoulder forward. It is a forward fold, so you don't want to bend from the bottom of the rib cage, bend from the hip crease, which might mean bending that right knee. If you don't feel like your body's working, you should probably change it. When we get a lot of flexibility, we tend to forget about the importance of strength, and you want both. Use the breath to guide you. An inhalation brings you up. Notice, are your hips relatively even, or if you lost that stability? Release, your right leg is straight, draw it in. If you are moving through the vinyasa, know why you're doing it. And if you are feeling pain in the wrists and the shoulders, perhaps you will build a lot more strength by leaving these vinyasas out until the body has healed appropriately. Now we're moving into C, which is a twist. The left leg is straight, the right knee bends. You do want the weight even on the glutes. You may need to sit on that little block or blanket. It's opposite hands, so left comes to the outside of the right. The right fingertips can be behind you, but not to lean on. You're not going on a coffee break yet. Sit up tall. You might need to move that right foot down. Use your breathing. If the knee is dropping out, move the foot out. If the knee is drawing in, move the foot in. Some of you will get the elbow to the knee. Some of you can reach under the leg, grab the hand. Neck does turn, but making the neck strong, not creating snake bite. Use your breathing. Remember the benefit of the twist. Massage the spine. They massage the internal organs. You may find that you're getting very hot. Perfect. Release. Sit up nice and tall. Drop the right knee. Draw the left in. Spark. And switch sides. Right leg is straight. Left knee bends. Sitting up tall. Dropping the shoulders. Right leg to the outside of the left. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Thinking about twisting. Right side ascending colon, left side descending colon. Adjust the feet. If you're leaning back, you want your structure to be strong. Where can you get the spine straight? Where does this twist originate? Think about the hips. Are they stable? Use your breathing. Bring yourself back to the center. Spark. Now, as you move to Navasana, if you're sitting on a block, slide it out. You can sit on a little blanket if your tailbone bothers you. Take the hands to the backs of the thighs and sit up tall. So if you're rounded, think your foundation is changing now. Lift the toes, lift the heels. You could be here. If your boat starts to sink, lift up. Those of you thrusting your chins, come on, straighten them up, drop your shoulders. You might hold your calves. This is not coffee break time. Work hard. You can always let go. Use your breathing. Your mind will say, she's not watching, but you know what? I know your habits. Keep breathing, keep breathing. As you come down, pull your legs in. Place your hands down, lift your hips, and you're going to come into it again. Remember, if this is your boat is not a strong boat. It's going to sink. So lift up, lift up, lift up. Open the shoulders, lift the chest, use your eyeballs. Don't just let the head hang. Find the strength. You can always support the neck like this. Know why you are doing what you are doing. Draw in, spark, and last time. You can leave it out if you want, but why would you? Breathe, breathe, breathe. You would if there's pain or injury, right? Keep your breath. Keep your breath. Use the power of the gaze. Good. Spark. If you want to vinyasa, you can vinyasa. Otherwise, come to Baddha Konasana. Now, this might be, again, where you need to sit up on the block to lift the hips and drop the pelvis forward. In Ashtanga, you want to open the feet. So thumbs go to the balls of the feet, and you're rolling the feet open. Breathing here. Keep the breath strong. We'll leave the second variation out. So we'll do the one with the long back, elbows in. Let the arms slide along, neck in line with the spine. Bring yourself all the way up. Lift the knees and stretch the legs out. Heels are on the ground, tiny micro bend in the knees. You might be here, neck in line with the spine. Get those heads up if they're hanging. You may come a little farther forward to the elbows, drawing the shoulders back. Some of you may hold the shins. Some of you may go into the full variation. Again, know why you do what you do. Now bring yourself partially up. Release. Spark. Again, you are not sitting on a block. You can have the blanket underneath you. You bend the knees, hold the backs of the thighs. This could be the variation. You may lift the heels. If your boat's sinking, find that strength. Remember, what is your foundation now? You can hold the calves, you can hold the feet. If you're leaning back, the idea is build strength and flexibility. The neck is long, the gaze is up, and you're breathing. Good. From here, you spark. You either vinyasa onto your back or you lie yourself right down on your back. Adjust your neck. Left leg is straight. Right leg is up in the air. Now, if your back bothers you, keep the left knee bent. Put your hand on your shin, on your calf. Some of you may prefer to use a strap. So use the strap, hold it with the right hand, put the left palm, left thigh on the floor. Hip drops down, torso comes up. Use your breathing. Unlock the knee, keep your breath strong. Legs are active. Torso comes down, so just like in standing balance, the hip is ball and socket. Move the leg out to the side. Gaze can go the opposite direction. Notice if the hips are even, if the waist is even as you can get it on the glutes, on both shoulders. Now bring it back to the center, drop the hip. Torso comes up, hip drops down, breathing. Torso down, leg comes down. Bend the knees, let them rock a bit, and then switch sides. Right leg is straight, left leg is up. If the back hurts, bend the right knee. Right palm on right thigh or hand to the floor. Where do you need it? It's part of your foundation. Torso comes up. You may find that you don't need the strap, in which case you don't have to use it. Use your breathing. Neck is long. Unlock both legs. Head comes down. Move the leg out. Open the neck. Open the shoulders. If that right glute is not on the ground, you are probably moving into an injury, so drop it down. Keep your breath. Bring it back to the center, drop the hip. Torso comes up, hip drops down. Head comes down, leg comes down. Bend the knees, thighs to chest, rock it out. Place the feet on the floor. So you're moving into the hip lift. You don't want anything under your head. Readjust, natural curve of your spine, palms down. That low back, press it lightly to the mat. Lift bottom, low back, mid back. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other like you're trying to squeeze a lemon. Your feet, adjust them. They're part of the foundation. Roughly heels below the knees, because if the feet are forward, it tends to pull hamstrings. If the heels are back, it tends to pull knees. So know, where do I have my greatest strength for this back bend? Sternum moves to chin, so there's the natural curve of the neck, and it's not flat on the ground. Breathing, do the work. Good. Lower yourself down, pause, bring thighs to chest, keep your breath. You can repeat the hip lift one more time. Some of you may go up into the full wheel, but know why you're doing what you're doing. My breath is present because I am talking to you. Keep the strength of your body. Calm down as you're ready to come down. Roll it out from side to side. Cross the ankles, roll to the side if your back hurts, or roll up. Readjust the glutes, so draw them back. And you're coming into Paschimottanasana, the seated forward fold. Remember, if you need to bend the knees to find that greatest stretch through the backside of your body, then that's what you should do. Neck in line with the spine. Work with your breathing. Bring yourself all the way back up. Release. Now you may want to move through a vinyasa as you prepare for the last three closing poses. You lower through chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, back into a seated position. You can sit cross-legged, one foot in front of the other. Some of you may sit in lotus. It's right foot and then left. The arms come behind the back, low down. Squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals, leaning forward. Chin to chest, Jalandhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha engage. Keep the weight on the glutes, don't send it all forward. Bring yourself back up, extend the arms, palms up, thumb and index finger touch, breathe here. Good. Hands to the floor. Unlock the arms. Lift to Uplutihi. Gaze down the tip of the nose. I know you can do at least 5. If you need to lower down and lift back up. Lower yourself down. Stretch the legs out. Lie yourself down on the mat. You're welcome to do that one last vinyasa if you want. Once you're down on your mat, take a deep breath in. A long, loud letting go exhale. Let the Ujjayi breath be released. And take some time in Shavasana. Being grateful to your body, being grateful to yourself for the time you've given yourself. Let your mind follow the rhythm of the breath. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Have a good day. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.